I've already shared with you the 5 things I love about Vietnam, but the world is not a perfect place. There are things that I cannot get used to in Vietnam. So today, I want to share with you the 5 things that I cannot get used to having lived here in Vietnam. So the first reason and why I cannot get used to living in Vietnam is due to the business culture. And drinking has a big impact, and it's a big part of that culture. So if you look at some of these places, you look at Can's Bar, you look at Cherry and various other bars that are open all over. Because dissimilar to the United States, the culture in Vietnam is you get business done at the bar or at the dinner table when there are a lot of drinks. Whereas in the United States, you get business done in the conference room or at the company. Right? Look, you look at another bar. So these are considered private bars. And what happens is with the negative impacts to your health, especially drinking beer. Beer is roughly 140 calories per can or per bottle. And you can drink 10 a night. That's 1,400 calories. That's way too much. And there aren't any nutrients or very little nutrients in the beer itself. So when you're forced to drink a lot and you're forced, in order to do business in Vietnam, that is counterproductive to your health. And to be honest with you, it's counterproductive to some of the business deals, because if you're really drunk, it's hard to actually close a deal. Nevertheless, that's an Asian culture in general and specifically to Vietnam. And that's something that's so difficult for me to get used to, drinking way too much to do business in Vietnam. And I hope that will change, and I believe that it will. The reason number 2 why I dislike some aspects of Vietnam is the tardiness, but not because people want to be late, but because of due to the traffic in Vietnam, especially during the peak hours in the morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The traffic is just so bad in Saigon that it's very difficult for people to really manage their time, because if there's an accident or there's construction, or the people aren't just driving properly, it creates a lot of congestion. And that is one of the things, is the traffic causing people to be late to the meetings. The third reason why I don't like Vietnam is the lack of infrastructure and the way that they plan the roads. If you look at the sidewalks, it's bad, it's poorly made. You look at the graffiti, this is just due to poor planning. And you look at the roads, right? The sidewalks, you can barely walk. Right? There's a trip hazard, there's a poor handicap. It's not all done, so they do halfway. So the infrastructure itself and the method of developing infrastructure makes it very difficult for us business people and regular people to walk around. You can't tell, but it actually smells really bad as well. So filtration, water systems, being able to walk, the dangers of walking around, it's tremendously difficult for us, right? And they put a bus station right here in the middle for people to wait in this area. So with that said, I have never used a bus here in Vietnam. I can barely walk anywhere. So it actually dirties my shoes, it dirties the suits. So when you have professionals and investors coming in and they have to walk through this, it's not a very beautiful sight. So that's the third reason why I dislike the infrastructure development and the lack of sidewalks in order for people to walk. And also, if you have a physical handicap, it's extremely difficult for you to get around. And that's the third reason why I cannot get used to living in Vietnam. The fourth reason that I can't get used to here is due to the fact that I'm an attorney and I've been working here for 5 years now, is the bureaucratic process and the manual process of applying, let's say for example, just a company itself. You actually have to apply manually to the various different departments, to the tax authorities, to the corporate seal, open up the bank account. Everything takes physical manual labor, and one is that takes up a lot of time. 2, it's extremely inefficient, and 3, all these signatures need to be original. It just takes way too long to get something that's so simple, such as opening up a company in Vietnam. So I hope the government will change that and they'll make it streamlined where you can apply online and get companies open up in 3 to 5 days without having to go to all the authorities. That would extremely help the business people, both locally and internationally. And that is the fourth thing that I cannot get used to, the bureaucracy and the manual labor of working with the government. The fifth reason why and the things I cannot get used to in Vietnam is due to the crowded nature of the city itself. Ho Chi Minh currently has about 13 million people and roughly 700,000 people migrate here every single year. So the influx of people, the infrastructure created a very crowded, high density area, which means that if you have a lot of people in a very small enclosed space, and if they have lack cultural sensitivity, they might spit on the floor, or they might actually crowd into your space, like get very close into your face. And also they don't respect that lines, right? That's what happens in a very high density area, is the lack of cultural sensitivity and personal space. And that's something that I cannot get used to in Vietnam because I love my personal space. So I want to give you a bonus reason and the difficulty of living in Vietnam, and number 6. All right, I was just kidding. I really love Vietnam. I had to make this video to say why I don't, or things I can't get used to in Vietnam. But this is an amazing place. It's an amazing economy, and that's the reason why I moved here and our entire team. So I love Vietnam, and I hope that you do as well. So thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment below about maybe other things that you're not used to in Vietnam if you live here already or you've traveled here. And we look forward to sharing more videos with you with amazing content, and to wish you the best of 2021. Thank you.